Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few things that I've learned from reading the book 80/20, well, by listening to it on Audible. Some of the key insights I've gotten, particularly how it relates to happiness. So there's the third section of the book relates the 80/20 rule to your lifestyle and everything like that. So if you don't know, the 80/20 rule is commonly known as 80% of the wealth is controlled by 20% of the population, but the rule crops up in many other places in life, so it's often just looked as the 80% of the input is producing 20% of the output. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that this is my personal bullet journal, my A5, in which I do my daily sort of evening journaling, planning for the next day and all of that stuff, and all my goal setting and everything like that. So this is the A5, and I also have an A4 research PhD bullet journal and an A6 mini bullet journal for on the go sort of brain dump journaling. So if you want to see any of those setups, I'll have them linked down below for you. And you'll see that in one of my most recent videos, I have set up my 12-week year. So the 12-week year is a book by Brian P. Morgan and Michael Lennington. So that book is all about setting goals for the next 12 weeks and acting as if the next 12 weeks are the next 12 months. So it's like very focused goal setting so that you can get more done in a shorter period of time. So recently I set up my 12-week plan, which is the goals that I want to achieve in the next 12 weeks. So these are the goals, and if you want to see this full video, I'll have that linked for you. But it just shows the different goals that I have for the next 12 weeks and the tactics that I plan to do on a weekly basis or on a certain week. And then from there I developed my ideal day and the other tasks that I need to complete in a week. So this would help me with the goal of putting together a healthy and happy routine. And then from there I put together my first weekly plan with all of those things. Again, this video, I'll have it linked for you, so if you want to see more of an explanation of these spreads, I will have that video linked for you. So I included things in my ideal day that were to do with the happy and healthy schedule, such as walking, listening to audiobooks, doing exercise every day, and doing yoga in the evenings, reading some non-fiction before bed, doing my daily journaling, and getting organized for the next day. But there's still some other things I think I could work on in terms of trying to put together a happy routine. And recently I read the book 80/20, or listened to it on Audible. And that has a whole section about how the 80/20 rule is linked with happiness and how it applies to happiness. So I decided to put together a spread that holds all of the information that I got from this book. So this is the spread that I put together, which is sort of the key take-homes of the 80/20 rule as it applies to happiness. So if you don't know the 80/20 rule, it's basically the idea that 80% of your inputs will lead to 20% of your outputs. So as it applies to happiness, 80% of our time leads to only 20% of our happiness. One of the things that the book recommends doing is to identify your happiness and unhappiness islands. And these are the periods in your life, it could be days or weeks or months, that you felt most happy or unhappy. So you're meant to identify these and as your sort of happiness islands. And the goal then would be to try and have more time on the happiness islands and less time in the unhappiness islands. So the first thing that is said is there's two ways to be happy. One, identify times when you're happiest and expand them as much as possible. Two, identify times when you're unhappiest and reduce them as much as possible. And then as well in the book, there are 7 steps to happiness. So the first is the 7 daily happiness habits, and they are exercise, mental stimulation, artistic stimulation or spiritual or meditation, doing a good turn, so doing something good for someone else, taking a pleasure break with a friend, giving yourself a treat, and congratulating yourself. And you can see for some of these I sort of expanded how I would implement them. So for mental stimulation I said like audiobooks or reading, something like that. For artistic stimulation I said bullet journaling every day. Doing a good deed could be anything, such as buying a friend a coffee, making tea for someone else, or something like that. And then for giving yourself a treat I said like a fun snack or like a purchase that I've been saving up for, something like that. But just something small maybe that you'd like to do every day. And then I put a star beside congratulating yourself, because that's something that I don't do and I need to find a way to implement that, so I'll show you how I've gone about that in a second. And then you can see beside some of them I have these sort of like arrows, which means these are already sort of on the way from my weekly plan that you might have seen that I've put together. And lastly I have these 7 shortcuts to a happy life. So maximizing your control over your time and your life, setting attainable goals, being flexible, having a close relationship with your partner, having a few happy friends, having a few close professional alliances, and evolving your ideal lifestyle. So most of these are already on the way, but the one that I found most difficult is being flexible, because I think that's not something I necessarily am when it comes to life's challenges. And then down the bottom a quote, "Happiness is the meaning and purpose of life," by Aristotle. So I haven't filled all of this out yet, just because I think it's quite personal, and I think a lot of the things that would be on my unhappiness islands are a bit petty, so I felt like I would do that on my own time. But in terms of trying to include some of these into my daily plans, you can see that already from the ideal week that I set up. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll have that linked for you. But I've already included things like the exercising and the audiobooks as I'm walking to and from work. And one of the other things that I want to do is do bullet journaling every evening, so that's already included. And that the most difficult thing will be congratulating yourself, because that's not something that I have as part of my daily routine. So to fix this, I made this spread which says congrats today you ... and then it has a space for every day in the month. And this sort of works as like a daily gratitude, except for it's like congratulating yourself for something you did today. So for example, today I have congrats today you went back to the gym and booked personal training. And so I went back through the days this month and tried to write down one for each day, which was kind of hard to remember, but it felt really good doing it. So I think this is something hopefully that I'll keep up as part of my daily bullet journaling, and it's kind of a way to look at the little wins from your daily life and motivate you to keep going with whatever you're doing. And it's just a really nice spread to be able to look at and feel like you've achieved a lot, even if it's just a lot of little things. So I can see why this would be one of the steps for trying to implement happiness as much as possible in your daily life. And then going back over here to the 7 shortcuts to a happy life. The first one I already sort of have, because I've maximized my control over my daily schedule by choosing everything in it from my PhD program. Obviously there are things that I need to do, but my daily schedule is largely up to me, and I've been able to put together a schedule that really suits me, and that's something that really comforts me. And then in terms of setting attainable goals, the 12-week year that I've set up already is a way for me to be able to really make sure that I'm able to have the best chance of achieving my goals, because they're short term and you keep the pressure on yourself to get things done. So that's something that I will hopefully be able to continue to use. And then having a close relationship with your partner. I definitely do have a close relationship with my boyfriend, but it could always be closer. I said before that I just want to include more like talking to friends and family and everything like that into my daily routine. So that's not something I have completely worked out yet in terms of these 3 items together. And then in terms of evolving your ideal lifestyle, that's definitely something that's in the works, and all of these 12-week years that I plan to do in the future will be leading towards my vision that I have set up in the 2 videos before this. But in that I've sort of put together my ideal lifestyle, so going on these 12-week journeys will be bringing me closer and closer to that goal. So the only one I think that I don't really take into account is being flexible, and that's probably something I need to work on, but I'm not really sure how to go about working on that just yet. So guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give me a big thumbs up because it really helps me out. And I would love to hear in the comments below if you have other spreads that are related to this sort of happiness or mental health kind of bullet journaling. I really found this whole planning out of this spread quite therapeutic, and I highly recommend it for anyone who's looking to improve their happiness or just have a better mental outlook on life and stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend these spreads for that. But I would love to hear any suggestions. I might do a video all about different spreads for sort of positivity and mental health in the future. If that's something you guys would like to see, please let me know in the comments below. And as I mentioned in the previous videos, I'll be doing sort of a weekly update on my 12-week year. But since one of the goals is, healthy, happy routine, there will be other videos like this in the future. So if you want to see those, I highly recommend that you would subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when new videos are uploaded. And I will see you guys in the next video.